Okay, I think you almost on 3 seconds now. अरे
चलो, shall we
yeah,
start?
we start.
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. Beloved God, help us all to love you more and more, and more and more, and still yet more, till we become worthy of union with you. Help us all to hold fast to Baba's Daman until the very end. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Jai Baba, everybody. Meher Baba, please come and join us and take over the conducting of this session. It is now entirely in your hands. Thank you. Just a few announcements. Number one, today is the Dhuni Day. Very, very special day in the life of Baba lovers. What can I say about Dhuni? It's been a long time since there are no crowds gathering there either, but still they are following Baba's wish. Number two, it is Jimmy Modi's birthday, and he's been doing great service in explaining Baba's books. Number three, and the most important, our one and only Postman General, Postmaster General, or whatever you call him, will be multitasking today. He will be hosting the show as well as talking along with his family. Please don't get fooled with the background. I just want to make it clear he is very much in Mumbai, somewhere in Kulaba. I think he must be in his own house. But the fellow has put this background to fool us. But I think it is a gift from Baba. It's a gift from Baba that this picture reminds us of him and brings us so much closer to him. So much closer to him. There is a small story about this little jhopri behind Rakesh's right, left ear, whatever, this jhopri. But this is not the time for that. So perhaps some other time when we have time, we shall.
Sam, you can tell a small story about the Jokri, no problem. It'll be nice.
This fellow is such a smart Charlie कि उसका वो टाइम बचाने के लिए साला मेरे को गुस्सा देता है. Anyway, the story is Baba had this habit of playing with the children after the afternoon chai sort of a thing. And one day he called all the children around who were staying behind all this in that quarters there, and they started playing hide and seek. And the kids would run around and hide, and then they would somebody would find them, this that. I say game chal raha tha. Then it was time for Baba to hide, and he being Baba, he was so clever. He took one boy in confidence and he went into this jhopri and asked that boy to shut the door from outside and to open it only when he would clap. So then what happened was okay, the children, boys and girls, started running around looking for Baba. Baba, where are you? Baba, where are you? Some of them even came up running right up to these steps. Rajesh jara mundi hatao. These steps. They would touch the door and see it latched, and they would walk away thinking okay, there is nobody there. Finally, all these children, they got frustrated and they said, Baba, where are you? Where are you? So he clapped and the door was opened and he came out. And the children, they protested, Baba, this is cheating, this is not fair. And then Baba gave a very nice, not a discourse, but a very nice lesson for all these kids to learn. He told them, this is what happens to every one of us in this world. I reside in each and every heart, and yet people just keep it shut and not see me. And this is the story. Ke Baba resides in everyone's heart. All we have to do is unlatch or remove this veil of ignorance or whatever you call it, and you will find him there. Now, Mr. Rakesh Acharia, my story has ended. Now, you please take over, call your wife. Let me introduce them. Rakesh, we all know, is our champion. The lady who's just coming in is the most difficult person to get hold of because she's a big shot doctor and a surgeon. Whenever I call her up, she says, I'm in the hospital, I'm in the clinic, I'm with the patient. But she is all Babas. Deep within, she is all Babas. Being a great big surgeon as she is, she's got no airs about it. Anytime at the center, we ask for any Baba work, and she will be the first one to jump in. Most of us may not know, but the husband is a technical champion, whereas Ashima, all our plays, Baba plays that we do from our center, uska jo English version, uska translation is been done by her. And then, of course, our friend Rakesh puts it on to the whatever, what do you
FM
call it?
radio.
Aji, FM radio, correct. Dekha? See,
Yes.
I'm such an ignorant fool. Yeah. Anyway, so that is how the first time I'd ever seen Asima, donkeys years ago, and I have never forgotten that. She was a little girl, not very little, but a girl, along with her sister. And in the morning at the Samadhi, or I don't know whether it was morning or evening Aarti, but the two of them had a little Casio. Asima, do you remember? Little Casio thing. And the song that they played was a film song. छूकर मेरे दिल को ना तूने क्या इशारा, correct? बदला ये मौसम na 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 na. The words are so beautiful, and these two girls performed so well that tears started rolling down my eyes. It's like trying to say Baba ने हमारे दिल को छुया और किया क्या इशारा and this and that and all that. अभी Sam Patel is not going to give the speech today, so I don't want to take too much time. Stop laughing, Rakesh.
No, Sam, you're doing well. You can talk more.
Rekha, Ashima's parents, Dr. and Mrs. Srivastava, if you ever go to Mehrabad and come back without meeting them, the purpose is not served. Dr. Srivastava, very soft spoken, very mild natured, but tons of knowledge. Tons. I really use the word tons of knowledge in spirituality. Of course, besides their वो क्या botany, the parents have both of them have done their doctorate in botany, and Asima used to say that when they were growing up as kids, parents कहीं भी जाते थे तो यार this flower is this name and that flower is this and ऐसे वैसे उन लोग का चलता था. The day, the night that Arach had passed away, her father had the decency of, I was at the Dharamshala and they were staying close by in those quarters. He had this decency of coming out and asking me, "Okay, Sam, do you want to come to Merazad?" And the two of us had set out on the most memorable scooter ride of my life. It was very cold. 31st of August was the day, I mean, the night, or whatever. And he was quite well clad. मैं तो ऐसे ही आज just hopped on. So पीछे मैं तो थरथर रहा था. Then we made a brief stop and had a cup of chai, and then we went to Merazad and paid our respects to his body lying there. These are some of my fond memories of this family. I think your dad wrote the script, mom and dad both wrote the script for Gandhi play also, Mayor Baba with Gandhi ji. They only had written the script. So they are into library and literary work and research and this and that. Anyway, Abhi let Asima take over. Baba, enough is enough. Chalo, Jai Baba.
Yeah, Baba. Yeah, Baba Sam. So I uh, came to Baba in 97, and before that, I mean, uh, I was just looking out for the real meaning of life. I thought, like, something beyond what we just living for, just earning and all that. And wherever I went, temple and all, then I realized that, people kept doing things, and I used to always wonder, why, like, I wanted like it would not gel with me, and I should try and find out the answers. Like if I have to do puja, why should I do puja? If there's fire, why the fire? I never ever got it, So I just kept searching, and I went everywhere. I went to the church, mosque, everything. And then in '97, suddenly this is my story how I basically came to Baba, first time, how I heard about his name. So then I got to meet Ashima. Then in '97, that time we were just friends. And we just asked, like what God you believe in. And then she told about Meher Baba. So then I said, okay. So then I thought, okay, let me go, find out more about him. And then she told me, and she said, you must come to Mehrabad for that. So then I said, okay, how do we go? And then she said, we go in June. But then it happened in December because nothing was happening. And in Mehrabad, they were going for a Christmas party. So that's how I went. So I think like Baba basically called me like, I'm like a party guy. I have fun wherever I go, I enjoy. And he said, oh, why are you sitting alone? It's time for you to come. And he called me to Mehrabad, and we went to Mehrabad. We partied over there. Christmas party was going on at that time. the whole Manli used to come. They used to have magic shows, the Christmas carols, even in the Samadhi, everything, happening in the morning. And then, I mean, I went to the Samadhi early morning. That was the first thing we did. And then I mean, I liked it all because there was no reason, there was no force. Like Baba said, if it is in the heart, you do it or you don't do it. So that is what exactly like I was looking for. I mean, even if I do something, I have to be convinced that okay, this is, I mean, it's good. Then only I would do it. I can't do anything by force. I would run away. And that what happened in the Samadhi. So I mean. There was no force for anything. And I like, I mean, the prayers were there, so beautiful, everybody singing together. And like, there was no like flowers or, that all the ritual like in the temple or in the church, nothing was over there. I said, wow, this is really nice. You just do it just one to one, you connect to Baba, and that's the end of it. Nothing matters. And then also like after the aarti, the way people sang for him, and they sang the way they want, however they want, and I felt that is really the true singing. You sing for the Lord, and you don't need to do anything beyond that. And that's about it. And so that was my first trip, and I just got connected. Like I have no reason, like how like Eric Shankar said, Baba told me just wind up everything and come. And same thing was for me. Like I was not looking for anything. I mean, I was nothing was there. It just got connected, and there was no miracle or anything happen or something like that. But yeah, but now like you think everybody, not only me. I think every minute you have a miracle, but you have to just be present and actually living. If the more you surrender, I mean, you just realize life is so simple, like there's nothing much to be done. It's extremely simple. And you just surrender, everything falls in place. It just takes care. So for me, like Baba said, you take the tension, you take the pressure, you take it, or you give it to me. Both of us can't do it, nah. Like Baba also said, no, I want it full or you take it full. So, and so that way, I mean, he allows me. So I said, okay, Baba, you take it. I will just flow. You just direct me and I'll just flow. So I flow that way. And yeah, there are things in life that you want, you don't want, and he directs you. That times you don't get, but there, I mean, you to just understand that when you surrender, I mean, you trust him. I mean, I don't ask any questions to anybody when I trust. And I don't have the thought that that person will fool me or anything, because like you said, it's like more beyond our thinking. All this works. So then why should I even think about it? And so no, like he's taking care every second, every minute, and nothing can ever go wrong. And that's how I operate. And there are times when you will not get what you want. And then you realize after 5 years, 10 years, that was not ever meant for you, because he wants you to give you the real goal of your life, which is God realizes. He wants you to grow like internally, not outside. Ye mila, wo mila, and all that. And that only he knows the path. I don't know how to get there. So I just follow, and that's about it. And that's how I got connected. So he's just like it's a friend, like who's always there na, behind you. बोला चल तू कर या मैं है ना पीछे देखते क्या होता है. So who doesn't allow you to ever fall. So I take it that way. Like somebody is there behind you, holding you. And how our friends are there, do everything together. We need to go drinking, we go. And he's there to take care. And I mean, that is the whole thing. So that's about it. So yeah.
Rakesh, I remember you telling us at the center that after meeting our madam,
Yeah.
you said to yourself, I don't want to lose, I want to get married to this girl. I don't want to lose her under any circumstances. वो क्या था? What was that about?
No, so in Mehrabad when I went, okay, so that time, no, I mean, nothing was really happening between us, okay? So I didn't want to basically mix up the two things, something happened, maybe unknowingly, like, uh, like I wanted to have that whole experience of Baba. I mean, over there, I mean, in Mehrabad itself, I didn't want to mix up anything else over there, just focus on that. And yeah, like you were saying that, yeah, the thing was there, what happened in Mehrabad, like, in fact, now I'm thinking another different angle is that whatever you say, whatever you feel, it just happens, okay? So, and that time, I mean, we just started going around and she had not committed, she was not very sure. So, I didn't want to hassle the topic over there. I mean, pull out the topic over there is because it's a very sensitive thing over there, if it comes no I mean by chance, for some mood swing or anything, I mean people say directly say no, in the beginning, and things might not happen, so I didn't want to take any of those chances in Mehrabad, and you really go to see anything on the hill, anything you wish, you will get it. Only the time zone Baba knows, that's it. Because I mean anything on the hill, you get it, you wish for from your bottom of your heart, you totally focus, whatever you want, you'll get it. When? I don't know. I mean, that Baba knows, he does it. So, I mean, that is a experience. And I tell everybody, be very, very careful what you are asking for. Very careful. To an extent that, what I tell people, you asking for a car, Sida, tell him only whatever car is meant for you, give him, yeah. Because you tell, I want a Maruti, and he's saying, Arey, I wanted to give you a BMW, yeah. Then you'll only sit and cry later on. I mean, I had to tell them, don't ask for a car that is very small to ask Baba. So, but yeah, I mean, that's an example. You come ask for anything. I've experienced that. Anything on the hill, anything in Mehrabad, you get it. Be very, very careful about your thoughts, about your words and your action. Not only over there, you carry it over here once you come back. That's why Baba said, now go back home, straight home. Don't dilute that energy over anywhere. So it works. It totally works. That, so that's about it.
Thanks, Rakesh. Where's Ashima?
Pretty much.
Now you see what is men, how hard we have to work to get married to the lady of our choice. देखा? चल, जय बाबा.
What do you want me to say, Sam?
जय बाबा.
Jai Baba.
That's it.
Okay.
Finished.
Jai Baba.
सारा आ गया उसमें, पूरी दुनिया आ गई. See, your parents have been Baba lovers. They are from Rewa, right?
Yes.
So, उनका जरा brief story about seeing Baba's picture at Jal Kerawala's house. Am I right?
No.
नहीं, sorry. Then maybe I'm mixing up with someone else. तो जो भी है, so how they came to Baba, and then of course you grew up
Yeah.
with them and under their care. But then, what gave you the conviction that he is God? Not because your father or mother told you that he's God, so you kept following him and वहीं से हो गया. तुम्हारे दिल में कैसे तसल्ली हुई कि this is the real thing, kind of thing. So that's what we want to know.
So maybe I can answer your last question first.
हाँ,
Because
कोई बात
I
नहीं.
may, I may forget it later. The, the answer to that question is that there was not even a doubt. So the question of conviction never arose in my mind. I never even
शाबाश.
thought about it. And till today, I don't know whether he's God or not. And it doesn't matter to me, whoever he is. I just grew up with his presence very naturally in the family. And so So whenever I'm asked to share something as I was growing up also, and I would hear other people's story, I always felt one thing, that I don't have a story. And I used to wonder why I don't have a story, but now I'm okay with it that I don't have a story, and there's really no story from my life which I can share what happened, how it happened.
That is the story itself. Where there is no story.
Yeah. But I can share my parents' story, and I have a feeling that lots of people in this group over here might be probably knowing it already, that story.
Doesn't matter.
So, my dad was a student in Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh,
Hmm.
and he always had this feeling that there is something missing in his life as a young boy, and he had no interest in the things which other people have, like even not even his studies. So when he was going to college, he had no interest in his studies, and he actually didn't want to do anything about it. Till one day, he there was a professor who um, came in, a new professor. His name was Surendra Bhatnagar, and the professor thought that this boy is quite clever, so he started asking him the questions. And my father, of course, didn't know the answers because he had no interest in studies. But when it started happening every now and then he started feeling little embarrassed, and he started studying, to be able to answer the questions in college. And gradually that started making him a good student because he started putting in the effort. So the professor asked him one day, if you have any problem, you can come to my house and I will help you. And those days, uh, teachers were very, very helpful to the students. They were not, nobody did it for money, they did it out of their love for their students. So my father, of course, went to his house, and when he entered, he saw this picture of Baba, which was a black and white picture, which is in Bombay Center. As you enter the front door, is the very first picture on the left hand side. So Baba's big picture in the center. Then on the right side, you have the one where he's standing in outside Guru Prasad, and on the left side is this picture where only his upper part of the body can be seen, and at the back you can see a little bit of the chair, wooden chair piece behind his shoulder. You remember that, Sam, that picture?
Yes, yes, Sadra. He is
That
very.
was the picture which he saw. That is his first picture he ever saw.
Hmm.
And he was very attracted towards this picture. But it was a simple black and white picture. There was no altar, there was no flower or anything. So he thought it must be my professor's father, the
Hmm.
way the picture was.
Hmm.
Anyway, he liked it so much that he started going there quite often. And his only interest was to look at the picture, not really to sit and study. And of course, professor wanted to teach him, so he won't give him a chance to look at the picture. So he would ask him for a glass of water or something, so that he would leave the room and he got a chance to see the picture. So this went on for a few months, and one day the professor was being transferred to another city, and that's when father had the courage to ask him whose picture is that, and he said, "This is my guru, my master." So the next question was, "Is he alive?" And the answer was yes. This was in early 1960s. So then he asked him, where can I meet him? And so professor told him that he lives in Ahmednagar and sometimes in Pune. And he was just describing, and suddenly my father started describing the place. That is it like this, and is there a lake, and are there farms around it? So the professor said, how do you know? So then what happened was, my father narrated that as a student, he was a part of NCC, that is National Cadet Corps, which is like a mini military training you get in school and college. And because Ahmednagar is being a big military area, so the whole country cadets would meet once in a summer. I think every summer they had a camp over there, and that's how they used to go every summer. So when he was camping over there, they were camping somewhere near Merazad. So that area was Pimplegaon, is what it was called. And there was a huge lake which has dried up now. But it used to be, you all had traveled in early 70s, you would have seen that lake was filled with water. So that's where they were camping. And one day what happened was, they will serve their packed lunch and everything over there during the day. And my father always was in a habit of having little extra pinch of salt in his food, whether it's needed or not. In North India, what happens is when your thali is served or a plate is served, you are served a little extra salt on the plate with other things. So he was in the habit of that, and he just felt that he could not eat without that extra pinch of salt. So, of course, you don't get those things in the middle of the jungle or middle of nowhere on a camp. But he said, I cannot eat the food. I want to get the salt. And he could see a bungalow far away, probably a kilometer away. So he said, I'll go there. It seems someone lives there. I'll go and get some salt from there. So he walked across the fields. He went there. He asked somebody to give him some salt. He knew only those two words of Marathi. So meet paije, he said, and he got some salt for himself and came back. So when the professor is narrating that this is where he lives, suddenly he realized that he's been there and this was the bungalow where he went and asked for salt. So he was very excited and enthusiastic about it because he's already been there now without knowing that he's been there. So he wanted more information and he started writing to Baba. And that's how his connection started, of course, without any questions asked, because he immediately accepted him as his master. So this was his story of pinch of salt, which was shared in Mandli Hall in Merazad many times, and Erich used to make him share, and sometimes even in his absence, he used to share the story with other pilgrims about this particular story. So that's how it started. And very first time when he got to meet Baba was in 1962 during East-West gathering that was in Pune in Guru Prasad. So that was his first time he ever went and saw Baba. And of course, when he went there, his young mind was working in another direction. And he said in his mind to Baba that this is your seventh avatarhood in this particular cycle. And I'm sure everybody else is aware about the previous six avatars. And you didn't allow me to meet you in those avatarhoods. I didn't get to see you. This is what he thinks. Of course, later on, he realized that it's always an old connection. And he said, so you cannot just let me, I'm not going to have darshan only once. I'm going to, you know, you have to pay for those last six avatarhoods when you didn't keep me with you. And there was so much of a crowd, so many people going for darshan, that the mandali was constantly announcing that no one should come in the queue second time. You should just do it once and let others have a chance. But he wanted to have his seven darshans, six for the previous avatarhoods and one for this time. And so he managed to do that by telling people and requesting people in the queue that I have a train to catch, please let me go in. So they, out of his turn, he would try and barge in into the queue every single time, and it was possible for him to do that. He also realized that there were people who went second or third time were caught, and they were taken out of the queue when they reached in front of Baba. So he was wondering how the mandali comes to know who's coming second time or the third time. So he started paying attention to that, and he realized that Baba would have a twinkle in his eyes every time somebody was cheating. So he said, now I don't know what's going to happen, but whatever it is, and he told Baba, I am going to do it, whatever happens. But every time when his turn came, Baba turned his face away and didn't even look at him. So that's how he was not caught by the mandali, and he was able to fulfill his wish of going for the darshan in one day or at one time. I don't know, it was in one day or over a period of 2, 3 days. That is something I can ask him. And so he was able to get his darshan 7 times. So this is how it all started, and he continued writing letters. He even continued writing letters, even Baba had dropped his body. And so this was his connection with Baba. And Baba, and somebody would reply from the Mandli uh, whenever the letters were sent. And a few letters that I remember, I have read them. He would talk about that this is bothering me, or I'm getting worried about that. I don't know what exactly he must have written because I don't have a copy of that. But what I have is a copy of the letters written by the Mandli in response to his letters. And every time Baba says, आपकी चिंताओं को जानकर उन्हें बहुत प्रसन्नता हुई. So which I really enjoyed, and I was telling him that, see, every single letter that you have written a chinta, he has actually felt happy about it. So That was something very hilarious, and I thought it was quite humorous. So this is how it was. And when he used to write letters, he would say, Baba, I wish I was your postman, because the one who gets to carry all the letters from the lovers from all over the world is so fortunate. And so once he was in Ahmednagar and he went to the trust office, which is something in the city, which was Baba's office. Baba had lived there also at some point, and it was called Khushru Quarters. And Adike Irani, he was Baba's secretary. So once he went there, and Baba was not in Ahmednagar, he was in Pune. So Adi uncle told him that Baba is going to come tomorrow from Pune and he'll be going to Merazad. And usually when he passes by, he slows down his car. So if you just stand on the road and he will roll down his window, you will be able to see him. But that is tomorrow. So he was happy with that. Then Adi said, there are some letters to be carried to Merazad. Will you go and drop them? And he gave him a cycle and he gave him a bag full of mail. And so this is how that wish of him being a postman was also fulfilled. He got to deliver the letters in Merazad. So these are a few stories from his life. And I would share a couple of stories from my mother's life also. So when my mother was growing up as a little girl, this was in Nagpur, and her father was working in police, and she used to walk to her school, and on the way was a house. She just felt very attracted towards this house every time she passed by, so she would stand there, look at that house, and then go to school, and similarly on the way back from school. And one day she found there were many people in that house. It was quite crowded, and when she came back to the house and she asked her father, whose house is that? So father said that this is the collector of the city Nagpur, and collector or commissioner, sorry, I forget that. And his name was Jal Kerawala, who was a very, very important person in Baba's work. So Sam can tell you all more about Jal Kerawala later if you want to know about him. So after and that day when there were many, many people, Kerawala had passed away. And after that, what happened was that my mother somehow did not like something.
Rakesh, please handle this, Ramarao.
All right. So after that, she lost interest in that house and she actually did not feel attracted towards it and she stopped waiting outside that house. Many, many years later, once my grandfather was spending some time with us and he was staying with us and he was very fond of reading and he was reading one of Baba's books, probably from Tales from New Life or some book, I don't know. And he suddenly found something about Jal Kerawala and he told my mother that, remember, as a schoolgirl, you asked me once who used to live in that house. This house belonged to Jal Kerawala and Baba used to come there. And I don't know whose mic is on. Okay. So, and this was the house of Jal Kerawala, and Baba used to visit that house. Then my mother realized that her connection probably started as a kid uh, in early 50s or sometimes at that time, uh, because Baba was staying there. So that was the attraction towards that house. But later on, when Jal Kerawala passed away, the attraction to that house was lost. And then she realized that although she came to know about Baba after she got married in 1965 through my father, but her connection was actually from much before than what she knew about. So this was one of the things which she realized much later. And as a family, they used to follow some other master. So after the marriage, she had Baba's darshan, and she also took my father to her guru's place. And once she went there after her marriage, the guru said that, please don't come here anymore. And she was very upset. She started crying. She thought she made a mistake or something. And very lovingly, he spoke to my father and asked about Meher Baba and, took all the details about everything. But many years later, or much later, she realized that if her master or her guru had not disconnected her the way he did, she would probably be not be able to move ahead in her spiritual life and get connected with Baba. So the real masters, they know it and they do it, and they sometimes snap the umbilical cord and allow you to go ahead in your journey with your master further. So this was her story. A very interesting thing was that when she was married, she was in another city and my dad was in another city. So they, of course, used to write letters to each other. And she wrote a letter to him saying, and till this time, my father had not really introduced her to Baba. She only knew that there was somebody he's following, but she didn't know anything much more further. So she wrote to him that I am willing to give you as much love as you want, but in return, you give me God. So
Arey Vaah.
so when my father received this letter, he said, "Oh, this is my chance to tell her about Meher Baba." So he writes to her and says, "I am actually in a position to give you God."
Ya Khuda.
And he sends her a little booklet, which was Highest of the High, which had that Highest of the High message. And this was the only book my mother read, and she was convinced, and she never had any further questions. And then, of course, she went for Baba's darshan. She wrote herself a letter that I'm going for a course to Bombay. Can I come and have your darshan? And the letter came yes, and they managed to do it. And a couple of times she wrote, and every time the darshan was arranged. Of course, she thought that she was the only one who's going to go there for darshan. But when she reached there, she realized that there were hundreds and thousands of people for darshan. So was it came as a surprise, and then she will wonder how would I get a chance to go because they were there just for a few hours. But somehow somebody would come calling for them and say, you guys have to catch a train, so you all come first and take your darshan and go. So this is how it always happened. And so this is the story of my parents. And I was born in 1966, and of course missed a chance to see Baba physically, but it's all right. That's how it was probably meant to be. And what my father says that when I was born, he showed me a picture of Baba, and Baba was observing seclusion. So they did not go during that time till he dropped his body. Even then, he didn't go because he didn't believe. He heard it on the Akashvani radio, All India radio, but he never believed it. So he didn't want to go and check it. He didn't want to probably see Baba in that state or whatever it is. I don't. So this is how I came, and it was very natural for me. As I was growing up, my father said, "He is your real father. वो तुम्हारे सही के पिताजी हैं. हम लोग खाली caretaker." So we all called him Pitaji, and then we referred to him as Pitaji, and then we started calling him Pita, and then it became short form as Pittu, and now my whole family for years everybody calls him Pittu. So this is how I grew up. I never questioned it. Like you don't question if someone says this is your grandmother, mother, or father, or this is your sister. You don't question that, right? You don't doubt it. Sometimes, of course, sometimes you feel you are adopted and these parents are not real, or you could have some other parents. But those things happen later in everyone's life. But there was no question to be asked. So I never asked that question. So I never had to worry about conviction or faith or and so he was just part of life, and that's how I grew up. And of course, a picture was kept in the house in which he's sitting on a tiger skin. We all must have seen that picture with his hands like this. Okay, I don't know to show. So this is how he was sitting, and that picture was there in a wooden frame without a glass and kept on a small little glass table. So I would look at it every day, and I knew he's Bhagwan, but I didn't know the meaning of it, so I didn't bother about it. And my grandmother would visit us sometimes, so she also did her puja. She had these little brass statues of her Bhagwan, or Krishna, Rama, or whoever it was, I don't remember. And she would give them a bath every day. Then she would change their clothes, and then she
Hello?
would offer them food. And I would
Yeah.
wonder कि दादी के भगवान का तो
Hello?
सब हो रहा है, उनको
उमेश,
नचा रहे हैं,
ये कोई तेरा क्लाइंट है क्या? कोई
या
15750 भेजा है वेंचुरा पार्शियल पेमेंट?
Okay, somebody's mic is on.
क्योंकि तेरा एक डमैक का है कुछ ओपेक्स मैनेजमेंट.
Okay, we can't mute. Mute. Press mute. Okay, so I would wonder that दादी के भगवान का तो इतना कुछ हो रहा है. So much is being done for my grandmother's gods who were in the form of brass statues, and nobody is feeding anything to our Bhagwan, our God. So I would wonder why is that no one's feeding him. So we would have a cook who would be getting ready to make the chapatis, and she would make the dough, and the dough would be ready. So I'll pick up little dough and bring it and put it on his mouth in that picture. And I did it day after day because I thought somebody has to feed him. Nobody's feeding him. Till the time my father realized that the picture was getting spoiled and he put a glass in the frame, then of course, so this was my childhood story of doing that. I also remember writing a little letter, sitting on a stool and having a little taller stool in front of me and a small white strip of paper on which my mother held my hand and she made me write these 2 3 lines which I don't remember, but I remember writing Pujya Pitaji, his respected father, because she was sending a letter to Baba, and this strip of paper was going to be put in that letter as a letter from me. And I don't know what else I must have written. And I have no idea what happened to that letter. But recently, after my parents put all the letters together and they scanned them and they gave me a copy of all the letters which were received during Baba's lifetime for our family. So there was a letter which was dated sometimes in 1968. So I have a feeling that I must have written at that time, which says, um, Priya Gudia. That's what all the little girls are called Gudia. Gudia means doll in India. And so, dear Gudia, your letter was received, but Baba is in seclusion and we are not reading any letters to him. But how could we not read your letter to him? So these are the first few lines from that letter. And so I know that letter went and this was the response. So this is my little story. And I grew up spending all my holidays in Merazad and Merabad because that's the only place my parents ever took us in holidays. So had a lot of time to spend with the whole, all Mandli. And we had names for everyone. Mani was a Bua. Bua means father's sister. Bhauji was Bhau Chacha. So that's father's younger brother. And this is how we addressed the Mandli members. And so this was another extended family which the whole family looked for, as I as a child and the rest of us looked forward to going and spending time with them, 2 3 weeks or a month or whatever time we got during our school days. And a very nice thing which my parents did was they made us bunk school many times to go to bed. So I don't remember what happened in school and I don't even care about it, but I remember everything that was happening on those trips. So I made sure that I made my children bunk schools left, right, and center and took them to Mehrabad and Merazad whenever there was a chance. So that is one good thing which I learned. And now Nikki is here, so maybe she can share some of her life, who's my little daughter, 20 years old now. So maybe she can share something with you all, and then we see how the time goes.
Thanks, Asima.
Jai Baba.
Hi.
Hi, Nikki. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Chal.
So, since I was small, mom and my dad, they used to always tell me that Meher Baba is like, he's like a god, but you can talk to him like a friend. So, as I was growing up, more than a god, he became like a friend to me. And then I talked to him the same way we would talk to our best friends. Like, I share everything. And if there are these things which I don't want to tell anyone, but I want to tell someone, then I tell him all of it. And then I even invite him to come with me for my exam and for concerts and for sports day and everywhere. Even if I'm going to cheat, I call him for that also. I'm like, you help me. But the same way, best when we have best friends, our best friends keep pranking us. So that's the same way my best friend pranks me. So like I had this exam once and I called him and I told him that, as in I didn't actually call, but just internally I was talking. I'm like, you come for my exam, you help me. I'm not that prepared. And then I felt that okay, he'll come. And he was like, I'll come with you for the exam. So I went really excited for the exam that I'm going to top the class. Now Baba's going to come with me. And then the next day the results came out and then I failed in that subject. So I was very confused and I'm like, he came with me. How can I fail in that subject? And then we have like this internal conversation, like not actually talking, but I visualize that if he was there in the physical form, then maybe this is what he would say. So that way I keep having a conversation. So I asked him, I'm like, you came for my exam and then I still failed in it. So he said that I told you I'll come for the exam. I never told you I will write your paper.
Oh my God. Hmm.
So that way, and then there's even that quote that Meher Baba keeps saying that don't worry, be happy. And then there's that line which is added down which says first you do your best and then you don't worry. So that way these things keep happening. And then most of the times when I'm going to do a concert, this happens every time, like when I'm going for a concert, as in to perform. So the song which I practice the most, that's the song which I usually forget the lyrics. Only if it's a Meher Baba concert. If I'm singing in college and all that, those go really well. But when we are doing a Meher Baba concert, then either I forget the lyrics of the song, or the mic doesn't work, or the music stops. Even though we might have rehearsed like 10 times, this thing always happens. And so we had this Zoom concert. I had the Zoom concert around 2 months ago. And me and my dad did the sound check on Zoom. We did it like almost for an hour and we did many sound checks to make sure everything's going okay. And then finally, I thought, okay, this is going to be the first concert which goes properly, which is not going to get messed up. So I did it. It went really well. Nothing stopped. Everything was good. And then once the recording came out, then I realized that the music was out of sync. So the music starts first, and then my singing comes like few beats behind. So the whole song went out of sync in the recording, and that's what everyone heard, the song which went out of sync. But while I was singing it, it was all proper. So then now I'm kind of used to it. Now I'm like, okay, this happens every time, so I don't even get disappointed. And when I was small in school, then I used to feel that if I tell people about Meher Baba, that I'm following Meher Baba, then they are going to make fun of me, all my school friends. So I never told anyone about Meher Baba. But then once I reached the 7th, 8th standard, then I started seeing the Meher Baba movies and going for book readings. And then I realized the importance of Meher Baba and knowing him and the spiritual connection that people get. So because of that, I started getting this excitement and curiosity to tell more people about Meher Baba. So then I started wearing Meher Baba t-shirts in college and Meher Baba lockets. And also those, we have that WhatsApp status option over there. So I used to put Meher Baba quotes when I was in school with his name over there. So people would like those and then they would ask me, who is Meher Baba? And then I would tell them he's the seventh avatar. And then they'll get this curiosity. So they would go search on Google and then they'll read all about him. And then they would come back with more questions to me like, what is Mehra Bad or who's Mehra? So this way, so that fear I had of people making fun of me, that eventually went away. So I got that excitement. And then people would see like WhatsApp status, everyone can see. So other people would see their status. Like my friends would also ask me, they liked those quotes and they found it really interesting. So they would also ask me to give them some Meher Baba quotes. And then they would put those Meher Baba quotes on WhatsApp and their friends would see that. And then that way, so many more people got to know about it. And I used to always think that like when I tell people about the avatar, Then I used to think that what if they don't understand? What if they are getting bored? Then I remember on one of the Thursday sections, I think 2 years ago, I think Sam Uncle only said that Meher Baba said that the if we just put his name in someone's ears, then that is more than enough. And then the name from the ears to the heart, that's his job. So that he does. So then I was happy that okay, I'm doing my job and he'll handle the rest. So I don't know. So mom was telling me to share my experiences Rabia. We are at
Ah,
Rabia play, and we we did it few. I think 3 years ago we did the first Rabia play in Bombay Center, and then we did it in Merazad also again. So Rabia, for some people who don't know, so Rabia was this Sufi saint, Persian Sufi saint, who was there 5,000 years ago. And she helped many men and women transform their lives and come on the spiritual path. And this story was shared in the Mandli Hall by Erich Uncle. So we had that whole Mandli Hall scene, and then the person who was playing Erich Uncle's role sat in the place where Erich Uncle used to sit. So that was a really fun play. And they gave me Rabia's role. And Rabia, the actual Rabia was pretty big. She was like 30 years or something, and I was only 17, 16, 17 at that time. So to get into that whole Rabia character, it was fun and exciting, but I was not being able to get that actual Rabia feel at the beginning in the rehearsals. Right till the end, I was not getting the feel that I'm Rabia and I have to play her role. I was just feeling like usually when I do a play, the Bombay Center plays usually. So whatever character I'm playing, I get into that feel and I feel like I am that person by the time the main show comes. But that was not happening with the Rabia play. I just kept trying, and finally I gave up. And that day was the play, and I'm like, okay, it's not happening. I can't do this. I was disappointed, but I thought that I won't get into the field, but I'll still play the role as an outsider. Like I will play the role as if I'm telling a story of Rabia or something. But and then this something happened that day in the Merazad Mandli Hall, and when I the play started and then we started acting and my Rabia scene came, then suddenly I got into that Rabia feel and I felt like okay, I'm Rabia. I actually felt that way, and the play also went out really good because of that. So that was one really fun experience that I had in the Rabia play. So these are my stories when I was small. So
Nikki, tell us who was Rabia and her life story, the way it was portrayed in the play. Tell us who was Rabia.
So Rabia was the most beautiful women on the planet in that time. That's what the history says. And in the play, we showed the scene that so basically Rabia was a saint, and she was kidnapped by these people, and she was made to work in a brothel, which she accepted. But when the people would go to her, she would just talk to them about God and spirituality and the real meaning of life. So that's all she would talk to the people. And that person would get so transformed by all of this knowledge that he would, the next morning when he goes out, he'll go out as a completely different person, as a spiritual person. So, and she took a promise from all of them that when they go out, they should not tell anyone what these two have discussed. So that's how she transformed many, many people. They used to go to her because they were attracted to her beauty, and they would come out as a different spiritual person. So that's what she did, and that's what we showed in the play. So we showed this merchant, and the merchant is traveling Basra, and then he hears about Rabia from the entire city, so he goes to meet her. And we showed that, and then we showed the conversation that both of them have, and how he comes out as a transformed person. So that's what we were portraying. And we also showed the scene of the Manly Hall in which Erich uncle is telling people the story. So there was this girl actually, this American girl. So she goes to Eric's uncle to complain, and she's like, "I'm finding it very difficult." So he's like, "What happened?" So she's telling him that I want to tell so many people about Mayor Baba, and I want to spread his word to everyone at college. But the moment I tell any boys about it, those boys fall in love with me, and then it becomes very difficult. So what do I do? So Erich uncle then tells her the Rabia story, how all those men fell in love with Rabia, and Rabia used that as an advantage to tell them about spirituality. So that's what he told that girl. And that let them fall in love with you. You tell them about Meher Baba. So that's what the play was all about, which we did.
Very nice. Very nice. Anything else you want to share, darling?
Yes, I had this story on Valentine's Day story. So this was in 2016, and
Hmm.
it was February, and it was Valentine's Day that day. It was a Saturday, and the next day, my dad had to show a movie in the Bombay Center, and mom and Aloba were in Mehrabad. So I thought I'll go out with this group of friends to play basketball and all. That's all I used to do, play basketball every day. So that was my plan for that day. That I'll go, I'll play basketball, and then I'll come home. But my dad took me to the Bombay Center, and I was only 15-year-old, and there was not many people at the Bombay Center. So at that time, I used to get really bored to come over there. No offense. But then later on, I started enjoying coming. Once I turned 18, then I started actually liking to come there. But before that, I used to get bored. So my dad took me there, and he's like, "No, you come, you have to come." And that day was Valentine's Day. And I'm like, "No, I don't want to come to the Bombay Center and waste my Valentine's Day over there." So he got me. Anyways, I had no choice. So he got me, and he was doing his movie sound testing, all of that. And then we had the Mer Baba Aarti as usual at 7. And after 7, I remember Habubi auntie was there, and there was one more auntie. So they were singing songs in front of the picture. There were very few people, just 3, 4 people, and they were singing songs after the Aarti. So Habubi auntie called me, and she said, "You also sing a song." So I sang this song called "Love Grows Like a Rose in the Garden." I sang that song. It's about all about love, how you have to nurture it and take care of it. So I sang that, and the last line of the song goes like, the last line also ends like "Love grows like a rose in the garden." That's the last line of the song. And I was singing like Bemanse and disappointed. I was just singing to sing because I had nothing else to do. So I thought anyways no one's listening. So anyways I sang that song, and when the last line I sang that line, then there's that garland that they put on the picture at the Bombay Center, and then they put those few flowers over there. So right from top, one rose fell down in the
Wow.
plate,
Hmm.
and I didn't even notice that rose. But Habobi auntie saw the rose, and then she came and gave it to me, and she's saying, "This is for you from Baba." So that was the first Valentine's Day gift that I got, and I felt that that was the best thing I got. And nothing like in my whole life can be as nice or better than that Valentine's Day gift, because that came from Baba. And I'm happy that my dad dragged me to the Bombay Center. So actually, that day I started, from that day onwards, I started enjoying coming to the Bombay Center, because then I started feeling that okay, this is a nice place and his presence is there. And then I went home and I preserved that, and I wrote, this was 2016, so I put it in a plastic like this, and I kept it. And then I wrote the whole story here so that I don't forget about it. It is- This was 2016. Yes. So this was one of my really nice experience at the Bombay Center. We used to have this app, when it's still there actually, but at that time this was in ninth standard, 8th standard, when all of me and my friends just got a phone. That time those touchscreen phones came out. I got mine after 10th, but they had a phone. So they found this app where you can make fake WhatsApp chats and fake Google pages. So one of my friend did that. She made a fake Google page and she typed over there Nikki and Aloba, and then she put like these pictures and names and all of that, and she sent it to me, and she's like, I found you on Google. So I told her, and I knew it was fake because that was not there on Google, all of those pictures. So I told her that you go on Google and you type Nikki and Aloba and you will actually find us. So she did that. She went on Google, she typed that, and what she found was all Meher Baba songs and Meher Baba videos, because me and Aloba used to keep singing for Amar Tithi and then my dad would put it up on Google. So she found those. So she opened those and she was seeing all of the songs, and then she wanted to know more about Meher Baba. And that time when someone comes on Google, like we were only, it was Google. Don't put it on. So that time when we were like 13 years, and that time someone coming on Google for everyone, like it was a big thing, because that time people just, especially my kids my age, so they just got a phone and they just got to know about Google. So for them it was like, if someone comes on Google, that means they are a celebrity according to them. Right now everyone's on Google, but that time it was, that's what we used to think. So she got excited and she's like, I know a celebrity and this girl is my friend. So she went on sending those Google links to her whole class, around 50 people. So they all got excited. They all saw those links. And then they saw Meher Baba, because all that we had was only Meher Baba videos and songs over there. So all of them saw those songs. And then they went and they searched who is Meher Baba. So all of that happened in the 8th standard. That was one really fun thing that happened.
Unfortunately, Aloba is not. Aloba is her brother. It's his pet name, Aloba. What is his real name actually, Nikki?
Ishir.
Huh?
Ishir.
How much? What? What's his real name? Hello? Hello? Rakesh? Rakesh? Ishir. Okay, got it. This boy is right now trekking in the Himalayas. That's why he's not around. But I would like Rakesh to tell us why they called him Aloba. Rakesh, can you fill in, or Asima or Nikki, any of y'all? Can you?
Sam, I think they are offline.
Oh, okay.
Sam,
Hello?
I think they are offline.
Oh.
Yeah, I think something to do with the internet.
Okay. So we'll carry on anyway. Does anybody want to come in and say a few things? Hello? Can anybody pipe in?
Uncle, you tell something.
Yeah, do I come in, Sam?
Yeah, please do. Go ahead.
Yeah, you started one sec.
Haji, bolo. Nikki is on.
Okay.
Nikki is back. Yeah.
Hello. Jai Baba.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, Nikki.
Okay. Hello. Shall from my phone because something happened to the laptop Wi-Fi.
Okay.
I had mentioned that these pranks keep happening whenever I'm talking something or I'm singing.
Acha, now tell us,
Happening again.
why is Ishir called Aloba? Just tell
Yes.
us. Or ask your mom
Mom
or
told
dad.
that story.
Okay.
Mom's right here. Tell the story.
Okay, mom, tell us.
Okay, so basically, when these kids were born, uh, I had taken them to Mehrabad, each one. Um, so Alaba was there, and he would always say, "बच्चे का नाम क्या रखा है? ये नाम रख दो, वो नाम रख दो." So I would get थोड़ा frustrated because from the childhood I had seen him giving instructions, and if it's coming from him, we can't deny, we can't say no to it. You have to accept it. But it was difficult for me to accept any of his ideas or suggestions. So I would run away. I wouldn't want to meet him only. So I would spend the whole day in Merazad without meeting him, hide from him every now and then because I knew some instructions would come, do this or do that, read this book or say the prayer so many times. And as a child, I didn't want to do it. So that habit continued even later. That if he says something, I have to run away and not do it. So if he says it, then I have to do it. So I might as well not meet him only. And then in the evening, when you're going back from Merazat, he'll say, "Aaj to aapne Jai Baba bhi nahi kaha. Today you didn't even say Jai Baba to me." So this is how it used to happen. So the same thing happened even after I got married and after the kids were born. And so I knew he's going to suggest some name. And what if I don't like it? Then what do I do? All these things will go on in my mind. So, so Nikki was about 2 years old, and Alaba was on the way in a few months' time, and we were in Mehrabad, and Alaba uncle passed away. And so my thing was that now the second baby is going to be born, and he's going to tell me what name to keep and all that. But he passed away, and we were outside. His body was kept in the hall, and we were standing in the veranda. And Rakesh said, "Listen, if this is a boy, do you want to name him Alaba?" So I said, "Okay." Then there was no question of getting worried what name to give this little baby who was going to come. So that's how he was named Aluban. And that's what happened.
So beautiful.
That's how he was named.
Mm. Asima, listening to all your stories, yours, Rakesh, and Nikki, all your stories, the underlying kind of bottom line is the natural love that you'll have for Meher Baba. It comes out so brilliantly. It comes out so brilliantly. And this is exactly what Meher Baba is all about. He just wants us all to be natural the way we are. He doesn't want any put on shows and nakhra natak, all that jazz. He doesn't want any of those things. He just wants us to be what we are. And this is what all three of you have done today. And I not only think, I'm sure it must have made him very happy today. Baba must be so pleased कि ये मेरे बच्चों ने क्या पितू your pitu must be really very very thrilled with you all, very very thrilled with you all, folks. This is what loving Meher Baba is all about. This is what loving Meher Baba is all about. He doesn't want all big gifts and big garlands and big this and big that. No, just just a sincere cry from your heart to say, Baba, I love you. बस इतना बोल दो और वो बिल्कुल खुश. Jimmy, do you want to come in and say anything? Jimmy Khan? Hello?
Yeah. You can hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm trying to come on the video, but I somehow can't.
Doesn't matter. Carry on. Come on.
You started off telling us the story about the cabin which is behind
Yes.
behind Rakesh's. The original story about its construction is that anything and everything that Baba wanted to be done, he wanted it to be done yesterday. He was always in a hurry. For everything, he was always in a hurry. And if Baba wanted to construct something, Padri was the go-to man in those days. He was into construction. He was man Friday, whatever you call him, odd man's job, etc. So Padre would always be very frustrated in the sense that whatever Baba asked him to do, he would ask him to do it overnight. And with a very short time, he would be given extremely short time, and Padre had to make do. In the sense, he would just put up something as a temporary setup and give it to Baba. Now, this time, Baba tells Padre that I want a cabin over here. I would like to do work here. And Baba gives him dimensions, etc. And Padre, sorry, Padre asked him, Baba, what time are you giving me to put up a cabin? And this time, much to his surprise, Padre's surprise, Baba says, I give you 6 months. And Padre was shocked. He couldn't believe that Baba is giving me 6 months to put up just a jhopdi, just a cabin. And he said, yes, Baba, I'll do a very good job and I'll give it to you. What he had in mind was something like this samadhi, something made of stones, that could last forever. So Baba says, okay, go ahead. Then we can see in this, on this cabin, the plinth level. The lower level is called the plinth. So Padre had come up to the plinth level and Baba says, can you chop off 1 month? Can you do it within 5 months? And Padre says, Baba, you told me 6 months, you are now cutting off 1 full month. Baba says, please do it, do it. He walks off. Then Padre had to rush up. Baba comes again after a few days and says, can you please do it in 3 months? Now suddenly from 6 months, Baba jumps to 3 months. Baba says, I have to do my work, I have to do my work. Sorry. Then one day Baba comes and says, can you just do it by 1 month's time? I need to sit. And sorry. Padre says, Baba, I can't do justice. I can't give you what I wanted to give you. All I will do is I'll just put up some tin shade and give it to you. Baba said, doesn't matter what you do, but I want it done. Eventually, this is what Padre did. He put up tin shade like as you see, and this is what he built. Then one day in the morning, Baba walks up and there were workers working inside this Baba's cabin. And Baba tells Padre, get all these men out. Get all these men out right now. Padre says, Baba, there's rubble inside, there are bricks, there are stones, there is sand inside. Baba says, I don't care. Tell them to come out. So all these workers had to come out, and Baba sat in the midst of the rubble. He closed the doors, and that is it. So this is the short story behind the construction of this samadhi. And this cabin. And this is why you see the tin shades and not a proper wall. So this is the story behind it.
Jimmy, if I mistake not, all these stones came from that post office building which was near the railway line.
That is for samadhi's structure, you're right.
Yeah.
But I've also read that there are certain other few things that are made on Upper Mehrabad. They are also part of the post office stone. But what you say is correct.
Acha. Okay. All right. Anybody else wants to share anything? Hurry up slowly. Come on. Nikki,
Yes.
don't look so surprised. Tell us something more.
I'll say. Okay. Um. So I usually travel to the mountains every year for 2 months. In the summer, I'm over there. So these things keep happening, which keep reminding me about Meher Baba. Like either Mehrabad is written on a bus, or there's some Meher Baba Panwala, or I find a chai ka dukan with the Meher Baba name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the mountains when I go, I keep seeing all of this. So then they keep reminding me of him. There's one at Malabar Hill also. I think there's a Mehrabad building.
Yes. Not Malabar Hill. It's near Campscon. Camps Corner से नीचे Warden Road and Breach Candy के beginning में opposite the petrol pump. The building is called Mehrabad and the shop is also called Baba Antiques or something like that.
Oh.
Ah, yes. And I've always wondered, I've always wanted to go in and find out, Ke Baba, who is this? Yeah, you're right.
We went to Rishikesh. Even they had some. They had put up a picture over there. One of the small bookshops in Rishikesh. I don't remember the name.
And it had Baba's picture there.
Yes, and it had his books also, but there was a picture also over there.
There were.
I don't remember the name of the shop.
Mm. Baba had done. Baba had done a lot of work in Rishikesh. A lot of work. Yeah.
There were many people with that cool hairstyle, the dreadlocks.
Huh? Sorry? What?
There were many people who had that cool hairstyle. That they had the dreadlocks. In Rishikesh, you know how those sadhus have now that round hair. What do you call it? Jatai. There were like many of them. I got really fascinated. I wanted
You'd also done it a little bit, no? वो कुछ colorful and all that. You'd also done it.
I had also done. But I had the temporary ones. I wanted to make those other ones, but my dad didn't allow.
Baba.
There are these many moments in the day like he used to always say that make me your constant companion and then you won't need anyone else. So usually I forget that, but then there are these times when I remember that if I'm lonely, and then I remember that he's always there. So even the times when I'm sad or I'm angry on something, then suddenly there's this very happy moment that comes up, like extreme happiness for no reason. Nothing good has happened, but still there's like extreme happiness. But it stays for like 5 minutes or something. So, I try to imagine that the people who get eternal bliss, they might be having that happiness for that.
Oh my God. अरे निकी इटर्नल ब्लिस क्या बोल दिया तूने yes someday we are all destined to get it somehow somewhere sometime वो तो मिलने वाला है but yes eternal bliss
Amakil,
yeah tell
if I get enlightenment, then I'll give you first.
एक कैंडल दे देना छोटी सी अरे बाबा बाबा This girl is very close to my heart somehow or the other. I don't know why. That the sheer innocence in her. She's not childish. She's not childish at all. She is very clever and crafty also at times. But she's childlike. Bholi hai. I don't know if the mother would agree, but this is what I feel. And she sings very well. कोई एक गाना सुनाओगे आज कि नहीं?
I'll sing
A Hindi song, a short one, huh?
Hindi song.
Not a very long one, or English, whatever you like. Tell me. Or best thing is if you can do Ustad Dhanyavad. Do you know?
I don't know the words of that.
Chal. It's so sad. Okay, sing whatever you like. Come on.
Okay. Again. 1 second.
Ja, hurry up.
Okay, I'll sing this
Okay.
this song which mom really likes. I'll sing that song.
Okay.
It's from a movie.
Okay.
Okay.
Chal.
Yes. हवा के झोंके आज मौसमों से रूठ गए, गुलों की शोखियाँ जो भंवरे आके लुट गए, बदल रही है आज जिंदगी की चाल जरा, इसी बहाने क्यों ना मैं भी दिल का हाल जरा सवार लूं, सवार लूं, सवार लूं, सवार लूं। ये सारी कोयलें बनी है आज डाकिया, कुहू कुहू में चिट्ठियाँ पड़े मजाकिया, इन्हें कहो कि ना छुपाए, जिसने है लिखा बताए, उसको नाम से मैं पुकार लूं, सवार लूं, सवार लूं, सवार लूं, सवार लूं। So this song I feel, so basically that girl is saying that she's feeling a lot of love and affection from someone, but she doesn't know who it is, so she's trying to find out who it is. And I feel the same way with Baba, especially for the new lovers who feel so much of love and affection and they still don't know about Meher Baba, so they're trying to figure out who is Meher Baba.
Wow. This is so profound. Nikki, what you said is just so profound. Profound, yani, it has so much of meaning, so much of depth in it. Time will come when the whole world will turn to Baba. Yes. We are just fortunate that abhi when the rush is not too much, we are still getting our moments with him.
Yes.
Folks, it is coming up to 7 and my wife keeps prompting me to wish them all a very happy Diwali. Diwali is a festival of lights. What is lights? The opposite of darkness. What is darkness? Is ignorance. And what is light? Is enlightenment. And Nikki is going to give me that eternal bliss ka kya wo
Yes.
someday, somehow, somewhere, she will do it for me.
Yes.
Nikki, share the potent with everybody.
Aji?
Share the potent with everybody, the bliss potent.
Oh, chalo. Bhai, abhi line lag gayi, Nikki.
Yes, I'll give everyone.
Baba, thank you for joining us for this session, Meher Baba. You have really, really, really make us all feel your presence. And we are also very touched with the simplicity that you expect and you receive from your lovers like this Acharya family. And I'm sure Baba must be very, very pleased कि ये मेरे बच्चों ने आज बहुत ही अच्छा, बहुत सुंदर तरह से पेश किया है. बाबा को और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. My mother always used to tell me कि ये एक ऐसा खुदा है जो सिर्फ प्रेम का भूखा है बस. All you have to do is feed him with your love. And as long as we do that, like Nikki said, in other words, she has made him her constant companion. She fights with him, she complains to him, she calls him for cheating sessions and everything. That's what being natural is all about. खुदा को यही चाहिए. Because I've often repeated this, कपलेट के हजारों पंडित, हजारों शाने, खुदा की बातें खुदा ही जाने. हमें उसमें कोई ज़्यादा कुछ समझ नहीं आता है. बस उन्होंने जो बताई हुई राह है, the way, the path, that thing of love, obedience and surrender is what we have to follow. And someday, somehow, Nikki will give me eternal bliss. Thank you, everybody. And Jai Mehr Baba. Anybody wants to say anything before we close? Hello? Hi, कोई बंदा, कोई बंदे खुदा है इधर हाजिर? Nobody. चलो राकेश. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. हाँ जी.
जय बाबा.
जय बाबा. Asuma, do you want to do Buzave Nar Aarti along with Nikki, the two of y'all? Come on, fast. Chal, chal.
बुझावे ना
कर खुदा राम में परमातु चलाई आश भक्तों ने के बख्शे नूरे मातु आया मोर शाद मेहर बाबा चरण पर तुझ न दरिए सर खुदा ना जात थी बाके फतई बैठ तो मेहर बातू तुझे माँ लिख की कतनो तो आशे बीजने आरे पी तुझे दरी यारे वहदत मारे फतनो कोई तूफातू अमोर है राग में है साले बकाशे ज्ञान जदनों के तुझ पर महात्मा ज्ञानी छने मो तारे रफातू माना प्रेमनो प्यालो पिलावी मस्त हमने कछे तुझ पर जान सदके साकिया पी दे पयमा तू हमारी नाव भर दरिए तरावे तो हमें तरिए हमारा ना खुदा
शेनिगे मातू बुझावे नार जहलतनी ये कारकुदा रातने फरमातू छेलागी आश भक्तों ने के बख्शे नूरे मातू।
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय।
अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय। Happy Diwali everybody once again. दिल में जोत जलाओ और keep that spark burning in your hearts, burning to make us one day let that spark develop into flames and turn us into ashes and dirt at his feet. Acharia mein Baba ki jai. Jai Baba everybody. इस दुकान बंद कर बाबा।
जय बाबा।
जय मेरे बाबा।